So we already had a birth child and we couldn't have a second child naturally. So my husband and I had talked about adoption before and we just decided that we would investigate that. It was different for me as well than it was for my husband. For my husband and for my son, it was just amazing and exactly what they thought it would be, but for me it took me a bit more time. Yeah, I mean, eventually it was everything I thought it would be, but the first few days were quite tricky for me. It took a bit of getting used to. So adopting has meant that we can complete our family. So we had, as I said, we had a birth child and we didn't want him to be an only child, and adoption's meant that he isn't anymore. He's got a sister to annoy him and to annoy, so it's a perfect situation all around. So from the very beginning of our adoption process, we had support of our social worker from Fife Council. It was much easier than I thought it would be. Actually, the whole thing was fairly painless. We were talked through all the process. We had someone there at the end of the phone, or popping round if we needed to speak to anybody. Our whole family and friends were included, so it wasn't like we were doing this by ourselves. It was really easy. And I think if there's one thing I would say to people always say to me, "Oh, it must have been a really hard process," and that's the one thing that I always say. It wasn't. It was just fine. So yeah, definitely recommend it.